My name is Jessica, Jessica Lin. I'm from Taiwan and I speak Chinese Mandarin. I would consider myself pretty fluent. I understand usually what people are saying and usually the specific terms that they give, like whenever you're talking about like finance or design or things like that. But it's hard for me to recall it or to write it fluently or eloquently. So I guess if you compare it to normal Taiwanese students or Chinese students, I'd probably be at like a middle school, high school level. Yeah, where what I say makes sense and everything, it doesn't sound that great. So I guess the biggest ones, like I mentioned before, is when people use specific terms in specific industries. So if people talk about finance and jobs and job search and stuff like that, I understand, but it's hard for me to recall like immediately. And it becomes kind of like a bigger problem because all my cousins are also studying like art and anything that's kind of creative. So we have a lot in common. It's just hard for me to speak to them about it, because there's like, for example, we all use like Photoshop and that's what I call it. And I don't know how to bring up the specific terms of like, cutting or like selection tool and stuff like that. So it's really like the specifics that I just like blank out on. So the biggest word that I find hard to translate, that I've been asked to translate multiple times, is the word 幸福. And it means, see, it's hard to translate, but it's like a combination of luck and happiness and just like overall like well-being in life. And it's a word that we commonly use during Chinese New Year. And if you see it in like the media, it's often in like a red diamond shape, and it has the word fu on it, which means that like type of luck. And a lot of times you turn it around and it's like dao fu, which is like you want the luck to like come to you. But it's kind of like a really general luck word used a lot in the Chinese culture, but I don't think there's like a direct translation to it. So the biggest, or like the system, I guess, of words that I use is often with my brother, where we would just make up random words, or whenever we think of things, like we would just use a combination of, because that's what comes, quickest to us. And oftentimes it's action words with the word like ed, or like, so we do a combination in phrases. So it's always like 你去 study 了吗? Or like, which translates directly into, did you go study yet? But it's always like the action verb that we turn into English. So I guess coming to Texas and UT, I've been speaking a lot of English to everyone, and there's not a lot of people that I speak Chinese to. And the only time I get to speak Chinese to like completely is with my mom when she calls me, or my parents when they want to Skype and stuff like that. So it's definitely deteriorated because I haven't been able to like practice it often. And whenever I speak to my friends here who do know how to speak Chinese, it's always in a joking tone. Like it's very sarcastic. Because sometimes we get like made fun of for speaking in Chinese. Like people don't think it's like really normal and they think it's like fobby. So that always happens. But whenever I talk to my mom, I think my natural accent or the more Chinese accents comes through, and then it's not as sarcastic anymore. So it's mainly like with my family, it's more natural, and when it's with friends, it's really sarcastic. Identity-wise, it has a lot to do with how I've moved around a lot. So I was born in the States, I was born in Wisconsin. So it's not even like California or anywhere that's super, I guess, Asian. So whenever I tell people that, they're always like, what the hell? Like, why are you, like, Wisconsin? No one's from Wisconsin. So that's kind of like my really American origin. But my parents have always spoken to me in Chinese, and sometimes even in Taiwanese. So, and then after Wisconsin, I moved to Washington State and then moved back to Taiwan, where I lived for 10 years. So I've been there for a long time. So I definitely identify with the culture there and being able to speak it. I'm really proud that I'm still able to converse with people in Chinese and understand Taiwanese, because Taiwanese is very different. it kind of makes it seem like I don't really fit anywhere, because in Taiwan people will know that I'm a foreigner because I have an accent, you know. And here people think I'm like Fabi because I've lived in Taiwan for so long and I can speak it well and I understand it, and sometimes I throw in words when I'm conversing with people. So it's kind of like I'm trapped in the middle, and it used to be kind of a culture shock when I first moved here to Texas, but I think it's actually like a good thing being able to understand both cultures and both languages, because it really gives you a lot of access and like ability to connect with different people. So I'd consider it like a good thing. Yeah, I feel really lucky to have it.